Wike versus Atiku. Tinubu's easy victory or Atiku's fuel subsidy promise. Welcome to Peter's studio. How are you today? Trust you're doing great. Let's take a listen to our news story today. Nigeria's 2027 presidential race is already becoming increasingly intense, and two prominent political figures are now at the center of a major political confrontation. On one side is Nyesom Wike, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, a prominent supporter of President Bola Tinubu. Wike says the opposition is too divided and weakened to seriously challenge Tinubu in 2027. On the other side is Atiku Abubakar, presidential candidate of the African Democratic Congress, who is presenting himself as an alternative to the Tinubu's administration and has made a major economic promise to restore the petrol subsidy if elected president. The clash between these two positions raises an important question. Is Tinubu's path to 2027 really as easy as Wike claims, or could economic hardship and Atiku's campaign promises change the political equation? Now, Wike says Tinubu will have an easy 2027 victory. Nyesom Wike has dismissed the strength of the opposition ahead of the 2027 presidential election. Speaking recently, Wike argued that President Bola Tinubu's re-election campaign will be considerably easier than the 2023 election because the opposition has been weakened by political defections and divisions. Wike's argument is straightforward. The opposition has not been able to build a sufficiently united political force capable of defeating the incumbent. This is significant because Atiku Abubakar and other opposition figures have been working under the African Democratic Congress banner to challenge the ruling All Progressive Congress. Wike therefore believes that the political arithmetic currently favors Tinubu. Reports of Wike's comment describe him as saying that Tinubu's 2027 contest would be an easy one, while dismissing the ability of the opposition to mount a serious challenge. But Wike's confidence is not shared by everyone. Nigeria's economic situation, insecurity, and the impact of government reforms remain major issues that opposition candidates can use to challenge the administration. Recent reporting on the 2027 race indicates that while Tinubu benefits from the fragmented opposition, many Nigerians remain concerned about the cost of living and security. Now, Atiku makes a major fuel subsidy promise. While Wike is predicting an easy victory for Tinubu, Atiku, on the other hand, is taking his campaign directly to one of the most sensitive issues affecting ordinary Nigerians, the cost of fuel. Atiku has promised that if he wins the 2027 election, he will restore the petrol subsidy. He made this statement during an interview while explaining his position on the subsidy removal. Atiku said he would not initially oppose the removal of the subsidy, but he is now questioning what happened to the money saved by removing it. He argued that Nigerians were supposed to benefit through better health care, education, security, and poverty reduction. According to reports, Atiku said if elected, he would restore the subsidy and that anyone who has stolen money associated with the subsidy should return it. That promise could become a major campaign issue. For millions of Nigerians struggling with transportation costs and the rising prices of goods and services, the question is not simply whether subsidy removal is economically sound. The question is, what has ordinary Nigerians gained from the policy? Now, also, Wike fires back at Atiku. Interestingly, Wike has not remained silent about Atiku's proposal. Wike has criticized Atiku's changing position on fuel subsidy and described him as a voodoo economist. He questions Atiku's credibility as a leading presidential contender, particularly because Atiku previously expressed a different position on subsidy removal. This means the disagreement is not simply about fuel subsidy. It is also about credibility, economic policy, and who Nigerians should trust with the nation's economy. Atiku's argument is that subsidy removal has imposed enormous pressure on Nigerians without sufficient visible benefit. The government's counter-argument has been that subsidy removal has increased the resources available to government through higher allocations from the Federation account. The presidency has previously argued that increased allocations to states and local governments are among the clearest benefits of subsidy removal. This brings us to the central political questions. Nigerians vote based on economic reforms, or will they vote based on their personal experiences of those reforms? The Tinubu's administration can point to increased government revenue, reforms, and efforts to attract investment. But the opposition can point to inflation, higher living costs, expensive transportation, and the hardship experienced by ordinary citizens. This creates a very important political battle. The APC will want Nigerians to look at the long-term benefits of the reform. The opposition will want voters to ask whether those benefits have actually reached their homes and communities. Can Atiku's subsidy promise change the election? Atiku's promise to restore subsidy could be politically attractive to Nigerians who believe subsidy removal has made life more difficult, but also creates a difficult economic questions. How much would subsidy restoration cost the Nigerian government, and how would the government finance it? A subsidy means that the government bears part of the cost of petrol, so consumers pay less at the pump. The advantage is potentially lower fuel price. The disadvantage is that government resources must be committed to maintaining that lower price. Therefore, Nigerians will need to ask Atiku several questions. And they are: how much would the restored subsidy cost annually? Where would the money come from? Would the government be able to prevent corruption and diversion? Would subsidy removal reduce inflation? Would cheaper petrol translate into cheaper food and transportation? How would the policy affect government revenue? And would the subsidy be temporary or permanent? These questions will be crucial during the 2027 campaign. Wike's argument also faces questions. Wike's confidence that Tinubu will easily win raises another important question. Can an incumbent really take victory for granted when economic hardship remains a major voters' concern? The 2027 election will not be determined by political elite alone. Ultimately, ordinary Nigerians will decide. A candidate may have governors, political structures, and powerful allies behind him, but voters still have the final say. The opposition weakness could certainly benefit Tinubu, but if the opposition succeeds in presenting a credible and united alternative, the political equation could change. Now, there are two very different narratives emerging. Wike's narrative is Tinubu has strengthened his political position. The opposition is divided, and therefore 2027 will be an easy victory. Atiku's narrative is the Tinubu administration's economic policies have imposed too much hardship, and a new government can reverse some of those policies, including petrol subsidy removal. Both arguments will ultimately be tested by Nigerians voters. The real battle may therefore be less about political speeches, but more about bread and butter issues. Can Nigerians afford food? Can families afford transportation? Can young people find jobs? Has insecurity improved? Are electricity and other essential services getting better? And perhaps most importantly, do Nigerians believe their lives are improving? Now, in conclusion, the 2027 presidential race is still developing, and it is too far early to declare a winner. Wike may be correct that the fragmented opposition gives Tinubu a significant advantage. Atiku may also have identified one of the strongest emotional economic issues that could resonate with voters: the high cost of living and the consequences of petrol subsidy removal. What is certain is that the battle between Tinubu's reforms agenda and opposition's promise of policy reversal become one of the central debates of Nigeria 2027 presidential election. And as the campaign intensifies, Nigerians will have to decide which argument they believe. Should Nigeria stay the course with Tinubu's reforms, or should the country change direction? That is a real battle ahead. What do you think, my dear viewers? Do you agree with Wike that Tinubu's victory in 2027 will be easy? Or do you think Atiku promise to restore petrol subsidy could attract millions of Nigerian voters? Kindly share your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Peter Studio, and turn on the notifications bell for more Nigerian political news, analysis, and breaking stories. Till I come your way next time, you have a great day.